Everybody, Alex Goff here from Goff Rugby Report, and I am meeting here with Spiff Sedrick from Life University, one of the 5 Emmy Sorensen Award finalists for the top collegiate player in the country. And Spiff, or Alexandria as your real name is, but everyone calls you Spiff. So welcome, great to talk to you. And why Spiff?
It was just from a long, long time ago. It depends on who you ask. Some people say that when I did gymnastics, I lived in Texas for a bit, and it kind of just like came up, and it was kind of a joke. And then it followed me when I moved to Utah, and then my volleyball team caught onto it, and then my rugby team, and then I just nobody knows Alex anymore.
So it's like, is it because you like Spiffy, or is
Yeah,
it just?
yeah, it started out like that as a joke, and then it never left.
Would you like it to leave? Can we call you Alex and just move it on?
No, it's all right. I respond to each of them.
You've been having a great year. It's a shame, of course, that everything got cut short early, but you did get a bunch of games in and through the fall. What has it been like for you, your experience at Life University this season and last couple of years?
This season was really different for me from my last 2 that I played with Life. Last year, I had to be benched due to an injury, but my freshman and sophomore year, it was a lot different because I was one of the younger girls, and I had so many older, talented players to look up to. But this last year, like, I was the older one, and while there was a ton of young talent coming in, it was still like everyone was kind of looking to me to be like, "Oh, stiff nose, stiff nose." I'm like, "I don't know, like, we're just gonna go out and we're gonna play and it's gonna be fun." But that's all I got through. Like, I'm not super motivational speaker. Like, in the huddles before games and stuff, everyone would be like, "Okay, what's she gonna say?" And I'm like, "Do your job."
Yeah, that's pretty. But that's okay. You sort of lead the way you are, right? You follow your own personality.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go back a little bit further. When did you start playing, and why?
I started when I was 16. I was a freshman in high school. I did play volleyball my freshman year in that fall, and there was a girl that I knew whose sister played rugby, and they were like, "Oh, you should come play. It's fun." Our team's about to go under though because we only have like 13 girls. So I was like, "Okay." So I grabbed one of my friends, and we went to practice. And the very first day, I got wrecked, like completely demolished. So we were doing a contact drill, and I was like, "I don't know how to do this." And so I like ran way too high with the ball, and I just got like completely bodied, and I landed straight on my back, and I was like, "This is stupid. Why am I doing this? Like, nobody's making me do this." And then for some reason, I went back, and then I just like kept going to practice. And then in my first game, there was at the time in Utah, there was only like 4 girls rugby teams for high schools. My senior year is the day of graduation, and I didn't have any plans to go to college. I was like, "I don't want to go. Like, I don't really care to go to college." And Richie Walker, who was the head of the Sevens program at the time, was like, "Are you going to go to college?" And I was like, didn't want to tell him no, but also I didn't want to go. So I was like, "I don't know." And so he told me, he's like, "Just tell me where you want to go and I'll make the call and we'll see what I can do." And I was like, "Okay." And I picked Central Washington. And like, long story short, I went on a visit. I loved it. Like I committed, and then it later didn't work out. That coach Mel moved on to Harvard, and I can't get into Harvard. Like my ACT is there. So I was like, "Okay, so maybe I just won't go." And then Liz Entwistle of Stars Rugby sent me an email and was like, "Hey, Life is looking for a fly half." And I was like, "Well, that's a bummer. I'm not a fly half." And then Coach Roz called me, and within a week I had signed. I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." And I was like, "If I hate it, I just won't go back," and that's it. And then I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it. Well, it seemed like you bounce back from that rough first practice. Say, "Hey, I'm gonna. There's something about it, and we'll try it out." So it's not like you get intimidated easily, and then it's difficult sometimes to make that decision. And I wouldn't knock yourself not being able to get into Harvard. 95% of people who apply can't get into Harvard.
I didn't even apply. I was like,
no. It's what made it special once you got to life?
I just had never, because coming from a club high school program where when I first started, rugby was not big in Utah. It was crazy to me that there were so many girls. Like, I had no idea that there were so many colleges that had teams, that like our roster was like 50 or something, but there's that many girls that wanted to do this every single day, and to be in a daily training environment where we had lifts and practice, to have those resources of having a gym with an S&C coach, and then having like a specific backs coach. We had a scrum half coach, we have a scrum coach, and then to have like the head coach, Coach Oz, who does it all. I had no idea that that many people were actually so committed to like keep playing. Obviously, I knew with it being a D1 elite program, I was like, okay, this is kind of a big deal, you know, because I had gone from club rugby, but I had no idea that there was that many people that were invested in it like that. So that was really cool to see on my end, coming from like not that situation to, you know, being in a D1 elite program.
We ran into each other at the LA Invitational, playing with the Falcons. You know, you get a taste of that, right? You get a taste of putting that jersey on. How does that feel? Is that something that you really want more of?
That was my first like big thing in what had felt like forever. Because, you know, when you're 18, the big thing is to make you 18. And then when you're 20, it's 20. And when you're like in college, it's like agent. But that was like my first really big thing, which I was hoping would have been the Pan Am Games back in August. But due to an injury, I couldn't even be in like contention for tryouts or anything. But it was insane. Like, I thought that I was like, it's another game, you know, like I'm with so many other girls, but then thinking about it more, all these other girls that were so talented, I was like, oh wow, they're like all better to match that. So I was like, oh wow. And then I'd been to CRCs and I'd been to nationals, but it was not the same as LA sevens. And I played in LVI sevens, but that was in high school. So it was like nowhere near the stage that I was playing. I never played in the stadium, and we were in the tunnel right before kickoff, and me and Solote, we were like trying to hype each other up and like get the nerves away, and I like the camera panned to my face, and I literally almost threw up in my mouth. I was like, and I look out, and they're like, "Oh, the Falcons are about to take the field against the Stars," and I look up at the big screen, and it's like just us, and I was like literally gonna throw up. I was like, "Okay, well, I'll be fine, whatever."
Hopefully, it was a good throw up feeling. I mean, it's still it's an exciting thing. You want, you know,
Yeah.
that to be able
No,
to
I
love.
was so excited. Yeah, it was amazing. I was really lucky to have the group of girls that I did, because we were all kind of in the same boat, but we all like supported each other through the whole weekend.
All right, well, Spiff Sedrick, you know, you had a fantastic season. We look forward to more from you. Congratulations on being a finalist for the Sorensen Award,
Thank you.
and it was really great to know you a little bit better. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.